Hey everyone, Tim Schofield here, and I just got back from Samsung Unpacked where they announced their new Galaxy S24 lineup, making a video in the hotel room because I have my hands on the flagship, the Galaxy S24 Ultra. Now this phone is packed with a ton of AI, a new telephoto lens, and even has titanium. Sounds familiar, right? Anyways, they are up for pre-order now, all the devices, and I will compile a list of the best places to pre-order them down below with the best trade-in values and even bonuses as well. So anyways, those will be linked all down in the description, but for now, we are gonna take a quick look what comes in the box of the S24 Ultra, then of course get some hands-on, do some testing of this new phone. Let's get started. Quick note, ton more content coming on the Ultra, but also the S24 and S24 Plus. So stay tuned and be sure to subscribe so you're notified when those videos go live. And here it is, the new Galaxy S24 Ultra from Samsung in very minimal packaging. Overall, this is the titanium gray color. You'll see that little S Pen there on the side because yes, it still does sport the S Pen. Let's see what we get inside. We get a few things, a SIM ejection tool. We have our standard booklets and a charging cable. So this is a USB-C to USB Type-C cable for charging. And that's it. That's all you get in the box. And I know what you came to see, the Galaxy S24 Ultra. Let's take it out of the box. There's a quick look at that color, flipping it over. Peeling that off. Now I'm going to boot the phone up for the first time, and while it boots up, we're going to take a closer look at the hardware. So down at the bottom is where that S Pen is. We'll talk more about that in just a second. We have one of our speakers, USB Type-C port for charging, microphone, plus our SIM card slot, and that's very flat down at the bottom. Now, moving along on the right side here, I believe this is antenna for 5G. We have our power button and volume rockers right above it. Honestly, fairly minimal camera bump overall, especially considering you have two zoom lenses in this quad camera system. I also would like to point out that you do have a lot of surface area on the sides to hold because that display is almost completely flat, if not completely flat. You'll see it kind of curves down around the side here, but the sides are much larger than past generations. And then up towards the top here, we've got another microphone. Along the left side, absolutely nothing. Flipping it over now, down at the back, we do have the Samsung logo. Moving up towards the top is that quad camera system. Our main lens uses that 200 megapixel wide angle lens. You have a 12 megapixel ultra wide plus two zoom lenses. So a 50 megapixel 5x optical zoom and a 10 megapixel 3x optical zoom. Next up, I'm gonna run through the startup process and just talk about anything that's noteworthy. You can protect your phone in multiple ways. I'm going to set up the in-display fingerprint scanner. Setting our finger down, lifting it up. Seems to be going pretty quick. A very subtle vibration. I do like the vibration feedback that it is giving. You can obviously register more later on or after you do this one. All right, 100% fingerprint added. You can add more if you'd like. It shows a few fingerprint options, including turning it always on or off and show an icon, tap to show never or always on display, and an animation. All right, we are all set up and ready to go on our home screen. Let's go to change the wallpaper right away, specifically because we have generative wallpapers that you can create some of your own with, some suggestions down here. So for example, if I go to translucent, you can replace specific words and hit generate between different colors and styles. And a close look at that 6.8-inch dynamic AMOLED display up to 120 Hertz, which I can tell is already enabled out of the box. Everything is looking really smooth. Very quickly, I'd like to jump into settings and show you in display, because this is a 1440p resolution display. However, out of the box, it's set to 1080p. So if you'd like to take full advantage of this gorgeous display's resolution, you'll have to change it out of the box. You can also bump it down to 720p. The lower you go, the better battery life you're going to get. However, you do sacrifice that resolution. Also going into motion smoothness is where you'll find adaptive or standard, so you can bump it down to 60 Hertz or it will automatically change the refresh rate depending on the type of content shown. I definitely recommend sticking to adaptive. No, I didn't forget about the S Pen. Let's take a closer look at it. Taking it out for the first time runs you through the setup process, but you'll notice the color somewhat matches the color of the phone, so they are custom depending on the color phone you actually go with. Just a quick close-up of it with a button on the side for various actions. It's fairly comfortable to hold, and you can click it like a regular pen if you'd like to. Same method to take it out as before, just press in and it will pop out, which will give you a bunch of different shortcuts via this icon right here. You can add a bunch more, but right now there's only 2. Definitely go in and play with these. You can fully customize it to your liking if you'd like to add the Notes app, maybe a drawing app, whatever it is. One feature I use all the time is when I take it out with the screen locked. So if I say follow, subscribe, my gorgeous handwriting there. But anyways, I'd like to point out again that that display, it looks like it's just completely flat, and I believe there's just a little bit of extra glass that starts to curve towards the side. So this will make it much easier to write on. It's not going to curve down and your pen's gonna fall off. It stays flat throughout that full display. So that's a nice change, and again, comfortable to hold. Now we're gonna show off some of the AI features, and the first one is not necessarily specific for Samsung devices. However, this is the first time you can really check it out. This is with Google, and it's called Circle to Search. So you press and hold the home button there, and you'll see circle or tap anywhere to search. It also brings up a search bar where you can use your voice or just do a quick Google search. Now, you'll see I just have a bunch of pictures of myself here, but if I wanted to circle one of these faces, it will search that specific image and give you specific results. Now this works with anything on your screen, doesn't matter what app you're in, anything like that. So if I circle the Play Store icon, you can do so, and there it is. It brings up, it knows what it is, but there's other options. You can scribble to search for something. You don't have to just circle it. Another example, if you are in a messaging thread, you can just highlight specific text. You can translate it, copy it, or it will search it for you. So it'll find your nearest restaurant or whatever sort of thing you're talking about in your chat. It's really, really useful. And no, it doesn't just work with the S Pen, it works on the entire Galaxy S24 lineup. So pressing and holding, you can even point your camera at something and then circle to search whatever your camera's pointed at. And there we go, it knows it's a Galaxy Tag 2. One more thing, because I know you're going to ask, if you use swipe gestures, you can still use circle to search. I use swipe gestures all the time. You can also turn it off if you'd like to, but if we go back into our Google search here, press and hold on this bar at the bottom. Make sure you don't pull up like I just did. You just kind of have to set it straight down. It's not quite as easy as if the buttons are up, but then you can just go ahead and search whatever image or text that you're looking for. Onto some more AI. So into the Samsung Notes app, you can press this button down here, and you can do a lot of different things like auto format, summarize, correct spelling, and even translate with different languages. So I'm gonna auto format it with headers and bullets or meeting notes. It's up to you. So here we go. Headers and bullets, this was just me talking into my keyboard and typing a couple things out. So here it is, now really nice, and AI features, S Pen features, design, specs, you have different formats. This is just crazy, super useful that it gives you different options. Next, I can even summarize my notes. So this is more so if you have a long list of things and you really need to get them into bullet points, you can quickly summarize them. And another quick feature built into the Samsung keyboard is this icon right here. So when you're typing in something, maybe a text message or a post on social media, you can check your spelling and grammar or switch up your writing style. So here we have the original, and then you can have it be more professional or casual or even social. So if I'm doing a social post, it throws in some emojis, polite, emojify. So there's some really, really cool ways to use this. Just a quick little test. I typed something else up towards the top, maybe something you'd send in a text message. So I'm gonna switch up the writing style for that. So instead, if you want it professional, hello colleague, I'd like to invite you to join me for a business meeting tomorrow. Casual, hey buddy, want to hang out? Hey there friend. Polite, hello friend, emojify. Hey friend, let's go on a date tomorrow. So there's a group of different ways to customize what you're saying. Now, believe it or not, there's more Galaxy AI features. You'll see under Advanced Intelligence all of the various apps and ways you can do it. But I wanted to point out that you can process the data only on device. Now, this will limit the specific AI features you can use. Some of them will need the cloud to process, so just kind of keep that in mind, but that is an option there. A lot more coming. I will actually do a full video on all of these features, so stay tuned for that. While on phone calls, you can even live translate. I do have a quick demo I can link to in the description, but I will be doing a full AI video talking about all the AI features on this phone, but live translate's an option. It's crazy, so go check out that quick demo I did. And onto that camera system and the camera app, just snapping a couple quick pictures. I am in San Jose for Unpacked right now. now. Let's just dive right into it. So it gives you the option right here for 3 times zoom. You can go up to 5 times. Again, 3 to 5 are optical. And then 10x uses the larger sensor, so they say that you should get better shots than the S23's 10x optical zoom. So snapping a picture there, let's take a look. This was with 10x, so right away that looks solid. Wow, that did some post-processing there, made it a little bit brighter, brightened up the shadows. But anyways, this one looks really good. So I'm gonna have to obviously do a lot more testing, so be sure to follow me on Instagram for some initial shots. And yes, I know you're gonna ask, there still is 100 times zoom. So if I go in, I can go in between the buildings there and get a picture of that landscape. It's gonna turn out really fuzzy, but it's an option there, so you get pictures of the moon and all those really, really close-up shots. When it comes to video, you can shoot all the way up into 8K 30 frames a second or 4K 60 frames per second. And finally, all of the other modes that you have, including a pro mode, pro video, and your single take, where you can take a bunch of different shots at once. So this brings us to our next AI feature. After you take a photo, they've added ways that you can customize and edit it. Just press this button right here, and you can tap around anything you want to move or delete. So actually this is gonna be aggressive, but we're gonna try and delete this entire building here. So press it, okay, so it looks like it's segmented it. Let's try and circle the whole thing. There we go, okay. So now touch and hold to move or delete. So how do I get, oh, you just tap on it and hit erase. So now what we're gonna do is really put it to the test and try and hit generate. So it's filling in the image, what it thinks is behind this building, which is probably some more buildings and a little bit more of that landscape in the backdrop. Wow, all right, so it did create a building there. So let's hit view original so you can take it out and it sort of guesses what's in the background. Now it's not completely perfect, but at first glance, you're like, okay, that just looks like a normal picture. I also just took a quick selfie and I really like the dynamic range, the balance between the light and my face still showing up. So far I really like that selfie. Anyways, pressing edit, pressing this button, this icon here, you can move things, but I took it on an angle on purpose. So you'll see I want to center and square myself up, but you lose a lot in the corners. So now you can generate, so you can straighten it and keep it cropped the same, but it's going to fill in those segments on the outside. And there you have it. I'm straightened out. It doesn't look weird or anything. You'll see the original, I'm turned and then it just straightens me out, but it doesn't seem like it loses any of its quality. So really cool feature. One more thing, you can also cut around something and not just remove it, but you can move it. I'm not gonna play around with this too much, but I can move it over here if I wanted maybe to put my face down in the square there and hit generate. We'll see what it does. It's gonna fill in where my face was. Obviously a pretty rough test here, but see what it can do. Okay, so ignore this bottom left because I didn't cut it out properly. That's on me, but it kept the lines really straight on the window, so that's pretty impressive. And then you'll see down here it moved me into the corner, so there we go. You can just pop me back. Really goofy, but really useful if you have an image and you do it appropriately. As usual, let's do a quick test of that fingerprint scanner. Seems to be really quick, actually, and very accurate. They've gotten really good. Now with the display off, just set your finger on down and it will unlock right away. So no need to turn the screen on to unlock your phone. So anyways, that is everything I want to talk about for now with the new Galaxy S24 Ultra. I do have my Verizon SIM in this phone, so I'm going to get everything all signed in and get some impressions for you guys. So expect more videos coming very soon on this, talking more about battery life, the camera system, and obviously using those AI features in the real world. So stay tuned. Be sure to click that subscribe button. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up. And as always, thanks for watching.